I'm still excited about the internet. For sure, for sure. I really do get excited when I think about the internet and think about how much we've touched, but also how much we haven't touched. Like, we've been at this social media thing for quite some time now. I want to say scratching 20 years. I think, yeah, at least even more, even farther beyond that. But as far as my recollection, I'd say a strong stride of 20 years is where the internet has, I guess, propelled into stratospheres that we did not expect even 20 years ago. And so when I think about the internet, I think about how far we have to go. And I might talk about the internet a lot, but it's where we live. It's where we are. I'm pretty sure if you're listening to this, you're listening to this over the internet in some form of capacity, whether that be your cell phone data or your home Wi-Fi or your company's Wi-Fi or whatever. We're interacting right now. You're listening to this through the internet, through the transferring of data. And yeah, we've gotten fast and we've been able to make sure that you get your updates as fast as we get the weather updates. But hey, it still brings about excitement when I think about it because it's still brand new. I believe, like I said, we touching 20 years, and when most people, and I don't even know when this threshold, I guess, turns, but when I talk to most elderly people, seasoned individuals, people that have been on this earth longer than, I'd say, 40 years, they always, whenever they hear 20-year-olds or whenever they hear 25-year-olds, they always say, oh, you still young. Oh, you still a baby. You still. So if we want to take that in consideration, if we want to use that as context, the internet is still a baby. There's still so much more that we can get involved with. There's still so much more that we have not even innovated yet. Invented yet. And that's exciting. I mean, I wanted to make sure that we start off this episode with positive, amazing, something to look forward to. No, like nobody wants to start something being bogged down. Like I always tell everybody that I know and that I'm around on a, I guess, consistent basis. Yo, don't start the morning angry. Like, please don't start the morning angry. Like, why? How did you wake up angry? How did you wake up bothered? How did you wake up already in a low spirit? Now, when we wake up, it might happen to where after you brush your teeth, wash your face, figure your day out, you might get overwhelmed. I mean, I do. I get overwhelmed. Sometimes it drags because I'm like, oh man, there's so much that I got going on. And then it might, there's a battle ahead of me, but I don't think I ever just wake up and just be out of wits. And again, this is my journey, and I'm just telling you my experience, and I hate that I have to pause the episode just to give a disclaimer, but right now, that's the world we live in. That's the internet. That's the internet culture. You got to give disclaimers. You got to make sure that you pause so that you let people know that you are aware of what you're saying. Or you are aware of what you're not saying. That's where we live, people. So, I mean, I'm not even asking for forgiveness. It's just something that we got to do. And I'm still new to the game, so I'm not trying to ruffle anybody's feathers, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to be on my journey. I'm just trying to figure it out for myself, and I'm along the journey enough to know that people like to pinpoint, people like to take sound bites and just make the whole subject or make the whole conversation about what you said or what you didn't say or what you meant or what you didn't mean or who you left out. Bruh, It's not that I left them out. I'm just trying to move the conversation along. I'm just trying to make sure that I get my point across. I'm just trying to make sure that I communicate effectively. And sometimes you got to leave points out. You don't have all day to name everybody on the list. You got to just make sure that people get the point. You got to make sure that people just get the gist. So when I think about elderly people saying, yo, 25-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 35, I haven't even heard 35-year-old, you still young, you still a whippersnapper, you still trying to get the milk up out of your breath, all the colloquialisms. But the internet is just like that. It's not old. It's fairly young. And I think when I observe the internet, or when I observe content creators in a natural habitat, meaning just the everyday life in the wild, you know, you got your corporate girlies doing the day in the lives of the sales associate. You got the content creators that want to drop the mixtape and do the SoundCloud. You got podcasters, so they're always trying to gain guests and talk about whatever it is that come out of their mind and come out of their heart, their journey. And that's something that I got to remind myself about. It's their journey. I promise you, there's times where I'm just peeping content because I want to be a great content creator. I want to make sure that what I say is assisting someone along the way. Now, it doesn't have to be law. It doesn't have to be the right way, but at least I want something to display to someone that you're not alone. I'm going to continue to say that for the life of this podcast, so that we have an understanding of why we come here. We come here for community. We come here because we want to let everybody know. We want to let each other know that you're not alone. You're not by yourself. So why not talk about the journey that I'm on so that others can continue the conversation in the comments? Subscribe to the channel if you're watching this. So, so why not? So why not do what you're doing? But when I'm peeping content, I'm like, yo, I think I should stop podcasting. Like they say, you know, the podcast industry is oversaturated. It's overwhelmed. It's just too many podcasters. There's too many people with mics. First, it was social media, and social media had a problem because everybody had a phone, and everybody that had a phone had an opinion, and everybody had an opinion, shared that opinion on the platforms. Now, podcasting, it costs you little to nothing to get into the podcast industry. And everybody that wants to get into the podcast industry picks up a mic. The mic shares their thoughts, and their thoughts, they splatter all over the platforms. Well, there are other individuals that jump onto those opinions and jump onto those conclusions, and you have a whole bunch and a whole big mess. And that results into me looking like, yo, I should stop podcasting. Bro, because it's like, what are we doing here? I ask myself this. What are we doing here? Where are we going? Where are we going? And the amount of time that you need to dive into these podcasts, dive into these content creators, dive into these brands to understand exactly what their point is, exactly where they're trying to go. And mind you, these podcasters, these brands, these individuals, these groups of people may be doing this on purpose just to get clout. Bro, they might not even believe what's coming out of their mouth, but they know what's coming out of their mouth is going to get the biggest reaction out of the masses. So they're going to say it just so that they can be notarized, just so they can be popular, or just so they can create a name around that. That's so scary to me. That's so scary to me, but it's something that I don't understand. And because I don't understand it, doesn't make it horrible. Doesn't make it bad. Everybody has their different walks of life, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is not a great time to me may be a blast for you. You know what I'm saying? I remember growing up, I was kicking it with my pop, my brother, and my nephew, and we were trying to figure out what we was gonna do. It was probably late afternoon, early evening, and I was like, I'm about to go to the mall, and I don't even know if I had money back then, but I just wanted to go just to, be up on something, find something. Yeah, find something. But my brother, my nephew, they're like 5 years younger than me. They wanted to go to the park and hoop. That's a good time to them. And I remember a time where that would have been like, no questions asked. Let's go to the park and hoop until sundown. But I changed. That's not a good time for me. That's not where I want to be. That's not where I'm at. That's not what I call a successful evening, gentlemen. So we parted ways. And, I went to the mall, they went to hoop. And, I tagged that story to this example of individuals that I may not understand, individuals that do so much for content, do so much for clout. I may not understand that process. I may not understand why they're doing it or what their goal is, but they do. They do, and if they're doing it, hey, shouts out, salute to you, because again, they might have the same goal as I do. We just go about it differently. Like they may have the goal like, yo, we just want to build community. We just want to make sure that people understand that there's a place to go just to be themselves. There's a place to go to express themselves. There's a place to go to have conversation and have, I guess you could say, a laugh or build memories with common individuals or people that we see on a normal basis, consistent basis, familiar faces. Yeah, we do it in a unorthodox way, or to Philip, we do it in an unorthodox way, but we reach our goal because there's people here and we have fun here. And that's all that matters. So they may have the same goal as Philip Conley Jr., but we go about it differently. I can't judge that. I can't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the judge anyway, so I just find it really interesting, and it just makes me reflect when I see these brands or when I see these individuals doing certain things just to get comments, just to get engagement, just to get the algorithm to pick it up and to push it across to as many places or many faces as they can. Like, is that sustainable? And maybe it's sustainable to you. Let me know in the comments. If it's sustainable to you, let me know why. Let me know what your thought process is behind that. Because, we live in the wild, wild west. We live in a space, in a society that it's not far-fetched that you might see a woman holding the camera in the grocery store, not even shopping at the moment, but videotaping what's in her cart, videotaping her steps, videotaping what she's doing in her purse, videotaping her checking out, because it's content. It's content, you know what I'm saying? We it's not far-fetched that people come into the movie theater not to bootleg or record the movie like they did back in the day, but just to record what they're doing, just to record where they are, just to record some footage so that they can go home and edit it. It's not far-fetched, When we call on the phone to a sales rep and be like, you're on a recorded line. I'm glad you said that because I'm recording too, just so that you know. And then now you got a soundbite on somebody's YouTube channel for the content. For the content in the YouTube channel title, or the title of the video is, I had to have a serious conversation with this. Like, what? You lucky you caught me right before my break, because this is my last call and I don't want to stay on this call as long as I want to tell you how I feel. So I'm trying to help you as much as possible, but you're trying to get, you're trying to get one off. You're trying to make sure that your content is pristine, and make sure that you have talking points for TikTok. And here I am just trying to get you off the phone so I can go to my lunch and finish the rest of my day. That's the world we live in. People go to the extremes. People go to the extremes to create content. And that's okay. I love it. Personally, I love it. Personally, I think with people creating content, it's a lot more people minding their business. I mean, just saying. It's a lot more people minding their business now. It might not be everybody. Everybody might not be minding their business, but for the most part, a lot more. The percentage has gone up of how many people mind their business because they got something to do. They got somewhere to go. They got something to make happen. They got something to complete, and they ain't trying to look at you. They ain't trying to worry about what you got going on over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember back in the day where you go to the casino and that was a social event. Especially during the weekends, they have cosmic blackjack, cosmic bingo, cosmic slots. Got your bland playing. Now it's just a bunch of people on their phones, not gambling on their phones, but recording because they're live, recording because they want to showcase to their followers what's going on and what they do. So you got less people fighting over the machines. You got less people maneuvering and waiting for their hot dog. Let's not get into the hot dog conversation of the casino. The casinos here in Minnesota, I don't know what it is. New York has pizza. Chicago has Italian food. LA, California has your what do you call it? Southeast cuisine. Down south, you got your barbecue. Up north, casino hot dogs. Hey, I'm putting you on. I know casino hot dogs. You want a good hot dog for about $1.50, $2, I think it is. Like I said, back in the day, I remember when it was 50 cents. I think it's $1 now. Casino hot dogs, man. That it is what it is. I'm telling you, casino hot dogs. I sacrificed my stomach so that I could tell the good news to the world. And it wasn't even a sacrifice. It's not even a sacrifice. I'm saying I took a chance so that you could run and enjoy $1 hot dog that will be the best hot dog you'll ever have. I don't care where you have it. The hot dog in Central Park, New York City will not touch the casino hot dogs here in Minnesota. I'm done. But I'm saying people go through the extreme lengths to create content. And we see awkward moments of individuals creating that content, but also individuals minding their business and it being more cohesive wherever you are because individuals aren't paying attention to others. You know? So again, you don't have a long line for the hot dogs. You're not battling to grab your drinks because everybody's trying to do something else and in their phone. And I think that's an upside. It may be awkward at first when you encounter it, like, what's going on over there? But once you realize, like, oh, they're just recording, you move on. I remember, like I said, I remember when it was new. I remember when people, you were looked at as a weirdo when you would bring out your phone or tape record, or because people always felt like you were trying to blackmail them or hold it over their head, or nah, baby. This ain't none of that. We just trying to, showcase what we do. We trying to showcase the fun that we have. And you're the party, you got everybody up. You got everybody high energy. We're all laughing because of you. So why not share this with the world? So it's normal now. The other awkward moment that I think that I encounter is we put so much emphasis, we as like the internet society, we as the consumer of the internet, we put so much emphasis on niching. You got to have a niche. You can't just be a person doing things. You got to be a person that niches into tech. You got to be a person that niches into podcasting. You got to be a podcaster. You got to be a content creator. But not only a content creator, you got to be a basketball or sports content creator. You got to be a beauty content creator. Not even just a beauty content creator. You got to be a lashes technician. You got to be, what does they call it? Esthetician? You got to be a lashes technician. You got to be a braider. You got to be a person that specializes in wigs. You just can't talk or do. You got a niche. On Twitter, they be like, I did this X amount of revenue in the past year. This is how I did it. Thread. You go to the first tweet. Niche down. What? I don't fit in that, bro. I don't fit in that. Welcome to the elephant room. We talk about awkward moments, and awkward moments can happen while driving. They can happen while using the bathroom. They can happen while on stage. They can happen while eating. They can happen while shopping. They can happen while walking into a Victoria's Secret store because you like the smell. You could be a grown adult going into a Build-A-Bear and be looked at awkwardly because you don't have your children with you, but you may be getting a gift. But it's strange for an adult to just be roaming into places where there's majority of kids. Like, have you ever had this experience? I have, where you at the music park and you chilling, you having fun with your friends or whatever. You're getting on the roller coaster, and then you realize there's a guy or there's a woman by themselves getting on the rides. A woman by herself just getting on the rides. And now you like, oh, like, I understand, no friends. As you get older, the friend number goes down. As you get older, your friend group shrinks. As you get older, it just doesn't mesh how it once did with other people. But when you're younger, you're like, what's going on with them? What? Hey, you see this? Hey, look. You see this? And now y'all snickering and looking because it's strange. That's awkward moments. Like, it just happens. I want to create everything. Why can't I? Why can't I just be doing? It's not even an issue. I was going to say, that's my problem, but it's not my problem. But that's something that arises a lot for me. I see things on the internet and I'm like, yo, I could do that. I see things on the internet, or I see people doing stuff and I'm like, that looks fun. I'm going to try it. That's how I did when I first moved into this neighborhood. In the neighborhood, they had a skate park. Never been to a skate park in my life. Only saw a skate park on Mighty Ducks D2. And I'm like, or I only saw people roller skating on Mighty Ducks D2 growing up. I'm like, yo, that looks fantastic. That's the same thing that I saw on the Mighty Ducks. That they doing the same stuff. I could do that. I had rollerblades. The inline rollerblades. I had the rollerblades. Yeah, let me go off this deep ramp. Fractured, sprained my tailbone. Could not tell. I didn't tell my mom. Those type of things, when you tell your parent, or for me, when I told my parents that I hurt myself or whatever, it was more so met with aggression and shame. Why would you do that? Why are you doing that? It's not care. Like, oh my God, like, wow, you tried something that you never tried before, and now you're just dealing with a little bit of pain because you learned your lesson, or you learned a lesson, not the lesson. Because was it fun? Yeah, it was fun. It just hurts. Okay. Nah, I couldn't do that. So I never told my mom about it, but it was a while where I had to be, number one, I had to be on my best behavior so I wouldn't get whooped. And then number two, I had to be very cautious on how I sat down because it wasn't a joke. But that's what again, that was me looking or seeing something like, yo, that's what I want. I want to do that. I can do that. Yeah. And I'm telling you, the awkward, I guess another moment of the awkwardness was individuals looking at me that were at the skate park already. Mind you, I was like 9. I wasn't old, or I wasn't a teenager yet. I was like 9-year-old black kid coming to a skate park with non-blacks. It's just, hey, I didn't care about all that. I wasn't there to make friends. I wasn't there to see if people could teach me. I was there because I felt like I could do what they were doing. I never went back after that. I never tried it again. I never tried the skate park again, but that's always been me. That's what I'm doing now. Again, and I won't get too deep in this story because I always tell it. Podcasting. I looked up podcasting and saw 1 or 2 people, or saw 3 or 4 maybe. I was like, oh, okay, I got it. I know it. Okay. An internet radio show. I got this. Cool, sweet. What, is it hard sometimes to carry a podcast by yourself? At times, because where individuals would contribute. If I had a partner, and sometimes I lose my train of thought, or sometimes I don't have something to say after my sentence, that's when an individual would come in and carry the episode, so that the consumer wouldn't get bored or turn it off or think the episode is over. So me, I always got to have the next 3-4 thoughts, to be honest, or I got to think quick. I got to make sure that I swing from one word to the next subject, because I can't be sitting here with y'all like, if that does happen, I got to make sure that I let y'all know I lost my train of thought. And then you got to buy time, and you got to get it together, and then you got to make sure that you keep the attention, because people will quit on you. People will quit on you. That's a life lesson in itself. People will quit on you. You don't got the attention. You don't got the attention. They quit. They'll get out of there. You don't have nothing to offer. They'll get out of there. You don't create excitement. You don't create anticipation. You don't create anything to look forward to. They'll get out of there. They'll get out of there. So yeah, if you look back on my episodes, oh yeah, sometimes it's difficult, but hey, I do this. Hey, I do this. And because I do this, I can do anything. That's just my belief. I can do anything that I say I want to do. If I wanted to be a doctor, I'll do that. I'll do that. If it means that much to me, I'll do it. And some individuals say, yo, that's such a gift, that's such a skill. I appreciate it. Some individuals don't see the fight that goes along with it, but I appreciate it. But I don't want to be a person that just always just has to stick to one thing. Now, I will say, I admire those individuals. I do, man, I do. That's why I went out there on the skate park, because I admired individuals that were putting their time in to master their craft of skateboarding or rollerblading or using the scooter. I don't know if scootering is a word, so I didn't use it, but using the scooter. I admire individuals that know about cars and that are mechanics. For a long time, being a man, I held that in high regard, to know everything about cars. Like, I'm like, man, I'm not a man. Why do you think you're not a man, Philip? Because I don't know anything about cars. It took me a long time into my adulthood to learn how to change a tire. I still don't know how to successfully change oil, but I've seen a couple videos, not a couple videos, but I've seen enough videos to be like, oh, okay, I could do it, but if somebody was like, you want to change the oil? I'd be like, nah, you don't want me to do that to you. I would just say no. For me, it would be like I would have to have like be in dire straits. Like, oh, let me change my oil, because if not, I'm not gonna have a car. But anyway, I admire individuals that know, yo, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to go. That's why I like watching TikTok. That's why I like watching Reels. That's why I like watching streaming. Individuals that stream, individuals that play games, and they're like, yo, this is what I wanted to do. This is what I did, and this has yielded results for me. People that do hair and do it at a high level, people that do fashion and do it at a high level, like, yo, this is the world that I wanted to be in. And it may sound gibberish to me when they talk about their terms, but hey, it's what they wanted to do. And I admire that. Because I'm a person that I dibble and dabble in everything. In my perspective, everything. Like I love podcasting. Not only do I love podcasting, I love photography. Not only do I love photography, I love video games. Not only do I love video games, but I love sports. Not only do I love sports, but I love movies too. I love movies. I just want to dabble in everything. I just want to be not even complex, but I just want to be multifaceted. I want to be multifaceted, baby. Like I just don't want to be in one lane. I want to be able to swerve, right? Don't niche me down. Don't hold me down. I want to swerve, baby. I want to put my fingers in every little nook and cranny that I can in life and feel my way. Like, that's just me, because I tell you why I'm like this. Because when I was growing up, I'm still am a curious person, but I was a curious kid, so I asked a bunch of questions. And growing up, you should not. That's what they used to tell me. You should not ask these questions. You shouldn't be asking those questions. Why are you asking all these questions? Bruh, like, that's how I learn. Like, how does anybody else learn? I'm a visual learner. I'm a person that has to practice. I'm a person that has to do repetition to get it right. Like, I can't wait till I get my 1,000th episode under my belt, because it's going to be so much different than what it is right now. And I'm not even going to say so much better, but it's going to be so much different, because I'm going to have so much time that I've been able to stretch my voice, been able to dibble and dabble in every nook and cranny of life to enjoy podcasting. But I always wondered, like, why can't I ask these questions? Where am I going to learn? Where am I going to pick up this information? Why? That's why I don't get irritated with individuals and kids that ask questions, because if I don't provide the information, who will? And not only that, people that provide information may sometimes hold that against you. And I don't want to put anybody in that situation. Here's the information. Take it and run with it, please. Because it might be something else that, it might end up bad if you talk to the wrong person. So I was always like that. I'm always been a person to dibble and dabble and figure things out. And when I was younger, again, it wasn't like I had the space to experiment. I didn't have the space to dream. I didn't have the space to wonder. I didn't have the space to question. I had to pick a focus. I had to pick a lane and try to fit everything that is me into it. And it doesn't fit. It never fits. So that's why I have to express myself during podcasting, and that, I value your time, so I try to stick to 45 to an hour, and express myself in that certain way. And then video games, express myself in that certain way. And then photography, express myself in that certain way. But I could only imagine how long this podcast would be with so many subjects of photography, of movies, of video games, and we could do that. But again, I want to communicate effectively. I want to make sure that you get as much value as you feel or as you can out of it. And sometimes you could talk too much. Sometimes you could talk too much. Sometimes you could draw it out. Sometimes I've been in lectures. Sometimes I've been in churches, services. I've been in classes where it's like, bruh, the last 20 minutes you could have emailed that. Yo, the last 20 minutes, bruh, you could have put that on an Instagram post. The last 20 minutes you could have did a call to action in the Discord. Like, you didn't have to hold us hostage. You didn't have to do that. The last 15 minutes of your statement, it could have been held at a later date, and we could have, went off and invited other people to the party and enjoyed ourselves. But you wanted to create a speech. You wanted to make sure that everybody heard exactly what you bought, what you brung, and what you're bringing home. Like, bruh, come on. Come on. So I've always been a person to be curious and to figure this out. And when I was younger, I didn't have the space to, I guess, scratch that itch. I didn't have the space to fulfill that. So now here I am as an adult with adult money doing adolescent things. And it's not adolescent, but I got so many gadgets in my office, got so many gadgets in the studio, got so many gadgets in my car, got so many gadgets, like, because I want to figure out what works well, what helps me move my brain, what helps me move and flow. And again, don't niche me down. So let me dig into this Monday. Let me dig into this Tuesday. Let me get into this Wednesday. And then let me make sure that I recap on Thursday and then rest on the weekend so I can get back at it on Monday. I want to create everything. I want to create everything. And the last couple things that I'm getting out of here. The ultimate awkward moment right now in the internet is the algorithm. And you got 25,000 people telling you, yo, post as much content every single day, all day, as much as you possibly can. And then you got other people to be like, yo, you want to make sure that your best content is posted when you wanted to post it. And you want to savor the content that you have. You want to make sure that that content is bunched and packaged with value. And you want to make sure that every single person that listens is able to be drawn in and follow you and follow your journey and to be and listen to exactly what you have to say so that you can in turn ask them for something. Post in scarcity. Don't post in abundance. There's so much. There's so many individuals pulling either way. Like, I just want to talk. I just want to talk. That's, again, there's moments that I have where I'm like scrolling on TikTok or scrolling on the gram or scrolling Twitter. Now, let me pause. If you haven't dipped into Twitter's algorithm for video, it is the most hilarious. It is the most random thing you could ever experience. Now, you want to think that TikTok's algorithm is random. It's really trying to figure you out. And I'm not trying to be spooky. I'm not trying to be what do you call it? I'm not trying to be preachy. But it's fact. It's TikTok shows you things, and then whatever you watch the longest, or whatever you interact with, like, save, whatever, the algorithm says, "Oh, okay, we understand, Philip. Okay, we got it. Give him more of what he liked. Give him more of what he watched. Give him more of what he spends his most time on, or the video that he spends the most time watching. Give him that, and give it to him." Like as much as you can. So the algorithm picks people or picks brands, picks products that it knows that I will spend the most time on. I love Apple's WDCs. I love it. I love when they do product announcements. I hate it because that becomes my timeline for a week to 2 weeks straight. It's like, and it's the same thing. Apple introduced the new headset. Did you know Apple introduced the how about, like, bruh, come on. But Twitter? Nah. Bruh. Twitter, you be like, oh, look at the puppies. And then it'd be like a murder. Like, wait, what? Hold up, wait. Bruh, I was watching sports highlights, and then the next video was a grandmother and a granddaughter talking about the grandmother deciding to be put down to death. I dropped my phone. But Twitter's video algorithm, they haven't mastered it at all. So it is the most hilarious thing and the most random thing that you could ever experience. And then again, the videos are correlated with tweets, so it's not necessarily telling you what's in the video. It's people telling you their thoughts about what's going on in the video. So the context is not there at all for nothing. So you're trapped. You're like, should I stay here and watch exactly what's going on, or should I move on because it could be a plot twist? A plot twist, for real. A plot twist. Well, so again, TikTok will tell you, okay, this is all of what you want to do or whatever. And there's so many people telling you, do it this way. So many people telling you, do it that way. And I just want to talk. And again, there might be a battle. There might be things that, I guess, that hold me back at times. I'm going to be honest. That hold me back from talking, hold me back from connecting, hold me back from posting, whatever you want to say, hold me back from my expression. But every time I do post, every time I do put something out there, I see that people want to talk to me back. People want to talk back. I just want to be here. I just want to be here. I just want to be here, man. I just want to be here. I just want to be here. I just want to build content. I just want to create content. I love content. I love talking about awkward moments. I love talking about subjects that most people don't talk about. And I also want to hear other people's perspective. I also want to hear other people's awkward moments. I also want to hear other people's circumstances. I always want to hear people that may be going through a little something, a little this, a little that. Not for gossip, not for the drama, not for the tea, but simply because we're living life. I want to connect with real people and not people that do things just for content, do things just to have something to say they did, do things or do things to build months and months of content and be at home posting it like it's going on right now. Like, that's just not, bruh. I just want to be genuine, you know what I'm saying? And that's the bright light. That's the positive moment that I hold on to. That's the positive moment that I hang on to. Is after all of whatever I reject, all the thoughts that I reject and publish and push post, there are individuals that want community as well. There are individuals that just want to have a little laugh. There are individuals that just got off work and they're enjoying the podcast. There are just individuals that need something to fill their day for 45 to an hour, and the elephant room is there for them. There are individuals that want to give feedback. There are individuals that want to share their rates and their subscribe options. There are individuals that want to find you on streaming platforms. There are individuals that want to genuinely connect. There are individuals that genuinely want to be there for you, Philip. And I hang on to that, man. I do. I hang on to that because, again, it's hard when you haven't and when you're not used to doing something for so long or it's new. It's hard, man. Like people, we talk about, I want to be a millionaire or I want to make as much money as I possibly can. But when you are not used to having boatloads of money, when you're not used to managing transaction after transaction out of your bank account, it's hard, man. It's hard, bro. It's hard. This last year, I've made more money than I've ever made in my life, and I promise you, and I'm grateful to God that I haven't blown it. I'm grateful to God that I'm able to be aware of spending habits. I'm able to be aware of like budgets, and I'm able to be aware of my lifestyle. But there's times where it gets hard. Like, okay, wait, what was this? Man, Target charged me twice, bro. Like, no, sir. If you look on your app, you can see you went to Target 2 times in the day. You right. I ain't. My bad. But it's hard, bro. I haven't been here before. It's hard, bro. You know, I want you to be my husband. It's hard, bro. It's hard, bro. I've never been there. I never had a long relationship. It's hard, man. It's hard. Oh, we're having a kid. Oh, it's hard. I never seen a successful father. I've never been a successful father. It's hard, bro. Never been here before. Where have you been? I've been trial and error. I've been mistake after mistake, and not just mistake, but I've had room to start over. I've had room to start over. Now I got a kid. I can't start over like that. I can't do that. I gotta maintain, bro. And maintaining is hard if you haven't done it for a while. Even friendships, like I haven't had a long-lasting friendship, so being a friend is hard, bro. Being, I guess you could say or maintaining a friendship is tough because I'm used to just being solo. I'm used to not checking in. I'm used to not seeing how you're doing. I'm used to just being by myself. I'm used to just leaving stuff where it is and it stays there. I'm not used to having roommates. I'm not used to living with somebody else, bro. It's hard. When we haven't done it before, it's hard. But just because it's hard doesn't mean it's not doable. And again, every time I post, every time I publish, every time I just do things, it lets me know that people are just happy to be here. So I'm happy to be here too. Just so you know. I gotta get out of here, man. Peace and love and happiness. My name is Philip Conley Jr. I am your host here in the Elephant Room. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, however you listen to your podcast, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Apple Music, whether it's Google Podcasts, whether it's all the other podcast apps and streaming platforms. Subscribe to it. And if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Let us know how you feel. Let us know feedback. Tell us what you think. If you love it, you love it. If you hate it, let us know that too. We want to know. We want to hear it because we want to know why. We want to have conversation. Don't just say it just to be a troll, just to be, an egg and just, I hated this. Well, why? Let's have a conversation about it. And if you loved it, share it with your people. Share it with people that would gain value from it as well. And let's continue the conversation. Again, my name is Philip Conley Jr. I love you from the bottom to the top of my heart. I can't wait to do this again. But until next time, I'll see you. Peace, love.